Indianapolis 500 has been called the greatest spectacle in racing. This race brings out the largest number of spectators for any single-day sporting event in the world. The finest field of drivers, mechanics, and cars compete. Each 500-mile race produces its own measure of automotive history, and this year was no exception. From 2 entries in 1963 to more than 25 in 1965, the swing to Ford power was to become the story of the safest 500 ever. The latter part of April, the Speedway waits for the next chapter in its colorful history of daring men and their quest for speed. The pit wall is empty, void of the specially built race cars designed for this track. The scoring tower, which on Memorial Day will be ablaze with the story of the race, is dark. And the mammoth stands have yet to be packed with fans for the brief season of speed. But the signs needed to channel and direct several 100,000 people are ready. The famed garages in Gasoline Alley are almost deserted. The door is locked. But early in May, the silence of the Speedway is shattered. The many kinds of artisans of the Speedway use the tools of their trades to prepare for race day. Race mechanics are veritable wizards of the wrenches. Using a mysterious finesse, they tune and torque the sensitive machines for maximum performance. The cars come from all directions, from England, California, from the Pacific Northwest. Like the gathering of a strange cult, these accoutrements of speed stream into the garage area. A feeling of excitement and an urgency to work permeates every area of the grounds. In the grandstands, men hurry to make ready for the crowds of race fans who will gather here to watch the big show. In the garage area, Duke Nayland, an all-time favorite driver, points out the reliability and compactness of the new Autolite ignition system, which refines passenger car components in place of the traditional magneto. This compact racing battery has many design and construction features of regular passenger car batteries. Vibration, a major cause of battery breakdown, is virtually eliminated through advanced resin and epoxy bonding techniques. The alternator and regulator closely parallel the equipment on the modern passenger car. One of the most advanced concepts in Autolite's transistorized ignition system is the magnetic impulse distributor that produces an electrical system that is virtually distortion-free at all engine RPMs. While a carpenter saws, drivers strengthen their shoulder muscles on the practice wheel. Driving at Indy requires athletic strength and stamina in addition to courage. While workers tidy up the pits, mechanics strip down their cars completely, cleaning and inspecting every part. Once the chassis is assembled and balanced, it is time to put the skin on the car and start racing. The battle between the new rear-engine cars and the traditional offies is about to begin. On the day the track opens for practice, they sweep it clean, but tires can be punctured by tiny debris. Right from the start of practice, driver Jim Clark and his Ford-powered Lotus blister the track with smooth, fast laps. that have made him champion driver of the world. His timers clock him at speeds nearly matching his last year's record, and the long dominance of the Offie seems ended. Other drivers are trying to match his fast time on their practice laps. Some of the cars are brand new designs, their handling characteristics yet unproven. Some drivers tried too hard. Bud Tingelstad was lucky. Don Branson takes his new rear-engine car onto the track. Branson isn't hurt, but the car has taken a terrific beating. His mechanics have many long hours of day and night labor ahead of them to repair the wreck and get it running in time to qualify for the race. It's Bobby Unser in one of the supercharged Novis, hard-luck cars at the Speedway. Evro spins out of control in front of him, and Unser can't avoid crashing into him. Both drivers are okay, but it looks like neither car may have a chance to make the race this year. Chassis troubles plague Parnelli Jones, and he picks up the wrenches himself to help mechanics get more horsepower to the wheels of his Lotus. Car handling problems are bugging last year's winner A.J. Foyt, and he brings the car to the pit to consult with his chief mechanic, George Bignotti. These are the days of search, the hunt for the combination that will deliver more top speed. Don Branson describes the uncomfortable feeling of not quite being under control. Rookie drivers must wear 3 stripes on the back of their cars, so veteran drivers can give them a wide berth. However, of the 14 newcomers to Indianapolis this year, Mario Andretti is one of the most promising. While a rookie, he learned to race this type car in his native Italy. Mario passes his tests handily, then amazes the stopwatch crowd by taking his car to lap speeds exceeding those of most experienced drivers. Can it be that the shadow of a new generation of drivers is appearing at the same time a revolution in engine design is occurring? It is just one of the many unanswered questions in Gasoline Alley. The first weekend of qualifying opens. These are time trials to select the 33 fastest cars for the starting field, and race fans are turning out some 150,000 strong to cheer their favorite drivers and cars. The coveted pole position for starting the race is the inside spot on the first row, and Parnelli Jones wants it. He has turned the fastest qualifying run of the day. Mario Andretti gets ready to take his turn, and Chief Steward Harlan Fengler instructs the young driver. Rookie driver Andretti shows his competitive spirit by turning a furious warm-up lap, then launches his 4-lap qualification run with a lap over 159 miles per hour. Without a waver in the corners, he's driving like an old pro. And when the checkered flag falls, a new all-time qualification speed record is in the books, 158.849 miles per hour, but not for long. Jim Clark, the Flying Scot, is next to qualify. He won the pole position and led the early portion of the race last year. He is out to prove he is still the fastest man at the Speedway, and his 4 smooth, beautifully executed laps turn out to be the fastest ever. Andretti's record lasts only 600 seconds, as Clark exceeds it by 2 miles per hour with a speed of 160.729. Clark's crew runs to give him the good news and to accept the cheers of thousands of American fans. Johnny Rutherford, knowing his car can't match this pace, tries anyway, and escapes with a harmless spin. Now it's A.J. Foyt's turn to qualify. One of the most fiercely competitive drivers, he appears determined to erase the new record set by Jim Clark. Like Clark, Andretti, and Jones, Foyt's rear-engine car is equipped with the new Autolite ignition system and powered by the new Ford double overhead cam engine, derived originally from the Fairlane passenger car power plant. Can Foyt match Clark's record pace? He must beat 160.729. Once on the track, he gets up to speed and turns a first lap that electrifies the crowd, nearly 162 miles per hour. His next 3 laps are nearly as fast, 161, 161, and 160. Swinging wide out of the first turn, he nearly brushes the wall in his last time around the track. He finishes his qualification with a new record speed of 161.233 miles per hour and the coveted pole position. The crowd cheers their racing hero on his triumphant tour through the pits. Two-time winner A.J. Foyt has shown he still can be king of the road. Between qualifying weekends, there are carburation tests to be made and last-minute adjustments. Autolite racing specialists work closely with mechanics to achieve winning performance. The same high-quality sealing principle used in these racing plugs is utilized in all Autolite spark plugs manufactured for regular passenger car use. It's Parnelli Jones taking his car to the track to test its handling with a full load of fuel. Car owner J.C. Agajanian gives him a proud wave, but he's in trouble. The fuel cell prevents an explosion and fire and underscores the dramatic safety advances made at Indy this year. Parnelli will be fine tomorrow, but there's a question if his car can be repaired in time for the race.
Parnelli, did this have any psychological effect on you for race day?
No, because I think that by race day, maybe I'll have all my problems solved.
Each driver has his own plan to capture the checkered flag. Dan Gurney, for example.
Do you plan to try to lead that first lap?
No, just the last lap until...
In other words, you don't have any particular strategy to go out and set the pace?
No. I don't want the front group to get away from me. If it looks as the race develops like I might be able to break away from them, why, yes, I'll do it, provided it's not going to take everything out of the car.
And a comment by Mario Andretti.
Well, I'm not going to wait. If there's any way that I can go out and take the lead, I'll do it as early as possible.
Have they figured it right? Only time will tell. The first race fans to enter the Indianapolis Speedway on race day were lined up before dawn for the 5 a.m. opening of the gates. Some people had waited for days to win preferred vantage points within the infield. For 5 hours, the multiple lanes of traffic have been streaming into the grounds. By the tens of thousands, race fans from all over the country surged toward the gates of the Speedway, goal of their annual migration. To racing buffs, the 500-miler is the World Series of racing. To the holiday pleasure seekers, it is a combination state fair and picnic. But to all who attend, it is a magnificent spectacle and drama. Many of those people purchased their tickets months ago, and now they work their way toward the stands, laden with fried chicken, potato salad, cold drinks, and suntan lotion. They take the whole day to enjoy the 500. Quietly and seriously, mechanics push cars to the pits. It is here that final preparations and adjustments are completed. To these men, this moment and this day mark the culmination of months of effort. Pretty girls, mass bands, and prancing majorettes salute the crowd. It is part of the tradition of the 500 to launch race day activity on a gay note. As the start of the race draws near, cars are pushed onto the racetrack and lined up in 11 rows of 3 cars each. A serious A.J. Foyt adjusts his driving uniform, while Jim Clark and Dan Gurney exchange a last-minute message. It's almost race time. All over the Speedway grounds, the soaring balloons signal the race is about to begin. As they float skyward, the huge crowd of over 250,000 awaits the famous words, Two cars are having trouble starting. Frantic efforts by Billy Foster's crew finally get his car started. He and Maston Gregory are the last to get going. But now, all 33 cars are moving down the racetrack. In perfect formation, the cars follow the pace car at the controlled speed of 100 miles per hour. They're rounding the 4th turn, approaching the starting line, watching for the green flag to start the race. The pace car pulls into the pits, and the race is on! Clark leads the pack through the 1st turn with A.J. Foyt, Dan Gurney, and Farley Jones in close pursuit. The Novi, driven by Jim Hurtubise, is pulling into the pits after only 1 lap, the first casualty for the traditional roadsters. Transmission failure puts the car out and leaves Hurtubise watching from the pit wall. It's lap number 2, and hard-charging A.J. Foyt in car number 1 has taken the lead from Clark. Clark's fans shout with excitement. The Flying Scot has passed Foyt to take back the lead. There's trouble in turn 3. Lloyd Ruby pits to replace tires flattened by the skid and returns to the race. Parnelli Jones, in his new 98 Lotus, is chasing 3rd place Dan Gurney. Gurney's white number 17 in a hub-to-hub duel. The crowd loves it. Now Parnelli is after Foyt. He passes Foyt to move into 2nd place. On the next lap, Foyt turtles past Jones. Dan Gurney's car is slowing down to enter the pits. It looks like he's all through. It's a walk down Heartbreak Alley for Dan Gurney, who came to the Speedway with a new car and high hopes. Popular Bob Bythe is out of the race, too. Parnelly Jones is the first of the leaders to make a scheduled pit stop. Limited fuel tank capacity brings him in on the 63rd lap. A signal to Jim Clark brings him in for fuel. His crew of pit stop specialists, recruited from American stock car racing, have him rolling toward the track again in a fantastic time of 17 seconds. With Clark in the pits, A.J. Foyt has captured first place and leads the Scot by a few seconds. Jim McElreath nearly picks up a passenger when his engine stalls. Foyt coasts into the pits, out of fuel and his engine stopped. His crew refuels him and restarts the engine, but the long stop costs him dearly. Clark is far in the lead when Foyt returns to the track. Clark extends his lead to one full lap and passes Foyt for a second time. But Foyt accepts the challenge and pours it on down the backstretch to pass Clark and move into the same lap as the leader. Halfway through the race, Foyt pits again, but this time it's not for fuel. Gearbox failure has put the hard-driving Texan out of the race, and he climbs out of the car in disgust. Now it's Parnelly's time to pit. He goes in and out in half the time of his earlier stops. He's in second place and more than a minute behind Clark, but driving hard. The furious pace has caused 17 of 33 starters to leave the race. And of the remaining 16, 12 are the radical rear-engine cars powered by Ford. Car 5 has lost a wheel. It's Bud Tingelstad in turn 3. The yellow flag slows the field of cars to permit Tingelstad to get free of the car and for the Speedway's wrecker and cleanup crew to remove the debris. Tingelstad is chagrined but unharmed, and the disconsolate driver starts the lonely hike across the infield. As the race moves into the final stages, 5 of the top 10 positions are held by rookies. Hottest of this new generation is Mario Andretti, solidly in third spot and running only seconds behind Parnelly Jones. Jones' pit crew is worried because he is running low on fuel, and Parnelly is worried because the threat of Andretti keeps him from slackening his pace to save fuel. A pit stop will surely cost him second place at $25,000. But if he runs out of gas before finishing, he loses everything. Jim Clark crosses the finish line to win the 500 with a comfortable lead of more than 2 minutes. It is the culmination of 3 years of effort by car builder Colin Chapman, and he dances down the pits like a ballet artist as Clark drives the triumphant road to victory lane. But will Parnelly make it? Yes, Parnelly takes the checkered flag for second place, and Andretti follows close on his heels to capture third. Parnelli's fuel supply is completely gone. In fact, his engine sputters to a stop, and he coasts around the track, while his crew runs to find him. Jim Clark, first European to win at Indianapolis since 1916, set a new record of 150.686 miles per hour in the safest 500 ever, and one of the most historic. The rear-engine Fords achieved their climb to the top in just 3 short years. In fact, 8 out of the 11 cars that survived the brutal pace were Autolite equipped and Ford powered. A fitting climax to the revolution started by Clark in 1963. A new era at Indy has begun.